Hello everyone, welcome back to the video lecture series of Basic Electrical and Electronics Engineering. In this session, we are going to discuss the BH curve and hysteresis loop. Okay. In the previous session, we have already discussed what is electromagnetism, what is meant by magnetic flux or magnetic flux lines, magnetic flux density, magnetic field strength, and permeability and its types. Okay. In this session, we are going to discuss how to plot this BH curve and hysteresis loop and what is its importance. Okay. So let's get started. The BH curve or magnetization curve is the graphical relationship between B and H, with H is plotted on x-axis and B is plotted on y-axis. Here you can see that the B is on y-axis, which is measured in Tesla, and this H is on x-axis, which is measured in ampere turn per meter. Okay, and this is the graph we got when we plot this B with respect to H. If we change H, then what will the value of B will given by this graphical relationship or with the help of this curve. You can see there are here three regions. One is non-linear zone, second one is a linear zone, and third one is a saturation zone. We always operate the magnetic material in this linear zone. Okay, and beyond saturation we do not operate or do not use the magnetic material. This is the limit below which we can operate the magnetic material satisfactory for any applications. Okay, here from 0 to A, one region is called as non-linear region as we increase the H, but the B is not changing correspondingly or not changing proportionally, so we will get this non-linear zone. Okay, and from A to C we have this linear zone where the B and H are linearly increasing with each other. As H is increasing, B is also increasing linearly. Okay, and also from this region also we can get the permeability of the material. How we will get? Let's find the slope of this line. This is the linear line. How its slope can be? Its slope m, slope of any line is what? Dy upon dx. Okay, dy means change in y with respect to change in x. Here y, on the y-axis we have B and on the x-axis we have H, so we can write it as a dB upon dh, because on the y-axis we have plotted B, on the x-axis we have plotted H. Okay, so this dB upon dh will be the slope of this line, and this is the change in B or change in y. But we have already discussed that the ratio of B upon H, we have called it as a permeability of the material. Okay, so the slope of the lines indicate the permeability of that magnetic material. In this way, the permeability of any material can be found out by plotting this BH curve. Okay, then this is the BH curve, which is also called as magnetization curve, is plotted. It is plotted only for positive direction of current. That means current is increasing from 0 to certain limit. Okay, and it is not changed to opposite direction. That means if we are increasing this current in one direction, and then we have plotted this curve, and we do not change the direction of current, then what will happen if we change the direction of current? Then that we will see here. Before that, these are the magnetization curves of different material. According to the material, the shape of the curve will differ. This is the H on the x-axis, which is measured in ampere turn per meter. This is the B, Weber per meter square, or we can say it as a Tesla. Weber per meter square is nothing but Tesla. This is the graph for cast iron, this is for cast steel, and this is for sheet steel. That means the graph of shape of the magnetization curve is different. That means they have different magnetic properties. According to that, we have this different magnetization curve. Okay, then when we plot the same magnetization curve for one complete cycle of magnetization, that is increasing current, which is also called as magnetization, and demagnetization when the current is decreasing, that is decreasing current, then it is called as hysteresis loop. Suppose we have plotted the BH curve for one complete cycle of magnetization and demagnetization, then that BH curve is called as hysteresis loop. One complete cycle is completed of magnetization and demagnetization. That means it is completed one loop, and that BH curve is known as hysteresis loop when it is plotted for one complete cycle. Okay, what we are going to do here, we are changing the current first in positive direction also and in negative direction also, and we will see the effect of that, and we will get this type of loop, this type of curve. Here same, the B is plotted on y-axis, H is plotted on x-axis. Okay, and we are getting the starting point is here. 1 minute. The starting point is here. From here to here, this is the dotted line indicates the BH curve, and beyond that we are getting this loop, and this loop is nothing but hysteresis loop. Then let's see how it can be plotted. This is the setup to plot the hysteresis loop. Here one iron ring is taken here with on which the coil is wounded with this number of turns, and to this wire the supply is taken from this battery plus minus E. One ammeter is there to measure the current, okay, and one resistor is there to change the value of current, because we need the current to increase in suitable steps, and also current to decrease in suitable step. For that we have to change the resistance connected in the circuit, so that we can vary this resistor. This is a variable resistor. Okay, this is the first end, this is the second end, and there is a third end is there, third connection is there, third terminal is there, which is called as variable terminal of a resistor. So this will be the symbol of variable resistor whose value can be changed. If this terminal can be changed from this to this terminal, so its value also changes from this to this. When this terminal is connected here, then this will be it will offer minimum resistance. When this terminal connected to here, it will offer maximum resistance, and when it is middle, it will offer half resistance in the circuit. Okay, this is the variable resistor. Then we have a special switch which is called as the reversible switch. There is a two position in the here. One position is there, and this is the second position. Now firstly we will connect this switch in first position, and what we will do, we will increase the current with the help of this. We will increase the current, that means resistor should be decreased. We first kept this terminal at maximum position and then reduce to minimum, so that the current will increase from 0 to maximum. Okay, when the switch is in first position. Then changing switch to second position, what will happen? At first position, see, at first position, the current direction is in this way. Okay, when we change the direction, we change the position of switch to two position, then what will happen? The direction of current will be in opposite direction. We want that. We have to plot the curve for this direction also and for this direction, and the complete curve for these two directions, when plotted on the same graph, we will get the hysteresis loop. Okay, so let's plot it. These are the steps to plot the hysteresis loop. Increase the current I in positive direction in suitable steps. Okay, this is the first step where we have to increase the current I in the positive direction. Okay, then decrease the current I in positive direction only. Okay, then increase the current in negative direction, and again decrease the current in the negative direction. These are the four steps we are going to follow, and we for each step we are going to calculate B and H and plot the corresponding point on the graph. Okay, first remember that first we are going to increase the current in positive direction. Okay, for positive direction we are going to increase the current in first step, and again we are going to decrease the same current in the same direction, positive direction only, And what will be our second step? In the second half, we are going to increase the current in a negative direction and also decrease the current in the negative direction. That means first position, when the switch is at first position, the current is called as positive direction current, and at when switch is at second condition, then the direction of current will be in negative direction, that is opposite to first one. Okay, and for each one we are going to increase the current and again decrease the current. Here also we are going to increase the current and decrease the current in the suitable steps. Okay, then when we do it, we will get this type of curve. Okay, where is the starting point? This is the starting point. Okay, this is the starting point. This is the starting point from where it is the arrow shows the direction. Okay, the arrow shows the direction of this curve, how it is plotted. From this position, the current is increased to this point, and beyond that, there is saturation region. We have already seen this saturation region. Okay, so we have to stop here. Beyond that, we will not operate that INA ring. Okay, this is the BH curve or magnetization curve, which is shown by the dotted line. Here the maximum positive, this is the positive direction. Okay, this is the plot for this positive direction, and this is for negative direction of current. This upper half shows the positive direction of current and this lower half shows the negative direction of current. Okay, from suppose we have 4 steps. Okay, step 1 is from 0 to A. Okay, second step we will get the curve from A to C. Then in third step we will get from C to D. In fourth step we get from this D to F. Okay, D to F, and again from first step is again repeated here. First is from F to A. Okay, in this way we are going to plot this curve step by step. In the first step, what we have done, increase the current in positive direction, so we will get the plot from 0 to A. Okay, then decrease the current in positive direction only. So when we decrease the current from A to C, we will get this. At this point the current is 0 as H is 0. Okay, because H is proportional to I. When I is 0, H will be 0. So from A to C, in this direction, this arrow shows the direction of plotting of graph. In this way we can plot the graph from A to C. Then at that point we will reach. Now the third step is what? Increase the current. The third step is what? Increase the current in negative direction. This is now negative direction. So increasing current in the negative direction, we will get this curve from C to D. And again, this is the beyond this D point, there is a negative saturation here. We will not do that. From at this D point we will stop. And again, fourth step is there, that decrease the current in what? Decrease the current in negative directions. This is the negative direction. So decreasing current, we will get this curve from D to F. We will get this type of curve in the fourth step. Again, we want to come back to the initial position A. So again the first step is repeated. First step is what? Increase the current in positive direction. So again increasing current to positive direction, we will get again reach at the same point A. In this way, this traces the loop is plotted for one complete cycle of positive and a negative direction. That means magnetization and demagnetization. Okay, in this way the hysteresis loop is plotted. Okay, now observe the graph. Here the points B, C, E and F shows interesting behavior of a magnetic material. We are going to discuss that. Now the point B here shown that residual magnetism, and this residual magnetism is between from 0 to B. 0 to B, that means 1 Tesla. 1 Tesla is the residual magnetism. Then what is this residual magnetism? Okay. The residual magnetism is the magnetic flux density which still remains in the magnetic material even when magnetizing force is completely removed. That means residual means the leftover part. Okay, remaining part, remaining magnetism. It is the magnetic flux density which still remains in the magnetic material even when the magnetizing force is completely removed. Okay, and the property of retaining this magnetism in the magnetic material even after the magnetizing force is removed is called as retentivity. Retentivity is the property of material to retain the magnetism even after magnetizing force is removed, and that remaining magnetic flux density which still remain in the magnetic material even when the magnetizing force is completely removed is known as residual magnetism or remnant magnetism. In this graph we can see this B from 0 to B is the residual magnetism, and what is the value of that? The B point is 1 Tesla. 1 Tesla is the residual magnetism here. 1 Tesla is the residual magnetism here. Okay, and this is the residual magnetism. Observe this graph at B, the x is what? The value of x is what? 0. But at the B, value of B is 1 Tesla, but at that same time at the B point H is 0. H is the magnetizing force. When even after the magnetizing force is 0, that means current is 0, also we are getting this magnetic flux density 1 Tesla. Okay, and that is known as residual magnetism. When the magnetizing force is removed, then also we are getting this residual magnetism value 1 Tesla. So this is known as residual magnetism or a remaining magnetism which is present in the magnetic material. Also, similarly, we have this B and E point. This is residual magnetism when it is in positive direction, and this is the residual magnetism from point O to E. Also, this shows the residual magnetism of 1 Tesla in the negative direction. Okay. Similarly, and this property of retaining this residual magnetism is known as the retentivity of the magnetic material. Okay. Then again, another term is there, coercive force. Coercive force is the demagnetizing force which is necessary to neutralize the magnetism completely. Okay. We will see this. This is the residual magnetism we want to neutralize. To remove this residual magnetism, we have to apply the magnetizing force in opposite direction. That means it is known as demagnetizing force, because here the H is 0 and beyond that H is negative. Here the H is negative, and at this point we have this minus H, that is H in negative direction, and at this C point the residual magnetism becomes 0. That means we have removed the residual magnetism from the magnetic material, and this is the H from 0 to C. From 0 to C, the value of magnetizing force which is required to remove the residual magnetism is known as coercive force. Value at that C point, the value of H is known as coercive force. This is in negative direction and this is in positive direction. We have also a coercive force which is used to neutralize this OE. To neutralize OE, we have this OF force. To neutralize this OB, we have this OC force. Okay. To neutralize this OB magnetism, we have this OC force, and to neutralize for OE magnetism, we have this OF force. Okay. Here the point is between 200 to 400. That means it is approximately 300 ampere turns per meter. So 300 ampere turn meter is the coercive force in the case of this particular given material. Okay. This is the residual magnetism, retentivity and coercive force. Okay. Then what is hysteresis loss? It is the energy consumed in the magnetizing and demagnetizing a magnetic material, because the hysteresis loop is plotted for one complete cycle of magnetization and demagnetization. So energy required or energy consumed in the magnetizing and demagnetizing a magnetic material is known as hysteresis loss, and the hysteresis loop area indicates the hysteresis loop. What means? That means more area indicates more hysteresis loss, less area indicates less hysteresis loss. Okay. These are the two different hysteresis loops for two different material. This is the straight line when it is magnetized or demagnetized. When we magnetize or demagnetize with the help of this coil, we will get, if we will get the straight line and not a curve, then it is the material will be non-magnetic material such as air. Okay. For air we will get this straight line, and for the magnetic material, or for all the magnetic material, we will get this type of curve. This is known as hysteresis curve, which I already discussed. Okay. This is for the curve, this is for non-magnetic material, and this is for magnetic materials. Also, this is the curve indicates a hysteresis loop. Also, this is the hysteresis loop, but here less area is there, here more area is there. Here coercive force is small. Here coercive force is small. Here large coercive force and a large coercive force. This the area indicates that which type of material it is. Okay, which type of material it is. It is for soft ferromagnetic material, and it is for hard ferromagnetic material. That means soft indicates that the material can be easily magnetized as well as demagnetized, and hard ferromagnetic materials are the materials which are hard to magnetize and also hard to demagnetize. Okay, the area indicates the hysteresis loss. This material have less hysteresis loss as compared to this one. Okay, due to its large area. Okay, and this is all about the BH curve and hysteresis loop and how to plot the BH curve and hysteresis loop. In the next session, we are going to discuss electromagnetic induction and the various laws related to it, that is Faraday's first and second law. Okay, till then stay tuned and keep learning. Thank you.